Hello, we're Shiro and Hitoshi from Slayer Core Gaming, and we're here with a Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 1.3 tier list.
Yes, we
This
are.
this includes the two new demons as well as the more recent balance patches. And first up on our list is Acaza. What are your thoughts on Acaza?
Oh, based on the most recent patch, Acaza has really gotten the better end of the stick. I do have to say.
Yeah,
Um,
he's probably gotten the best deal out of anybody in the
right.
most recent patch.
Oh yeah, for sure. They increased his dash. They made his counter a yellow tier. I can't believe that. That's so annoying when I'm going up against Acaza in matches. But um, but yeah, for sure, he's a very solid unit now. Um, I know we did put him in what, C tier, correct?
Yeah, I think we put him in C tier last time, but I
Yes,
think this
yeah.
time A tier.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. He is an A tier character.
A tier character. All right. Next up, Giyu.
Woo!
Giyu is a character
Counter
that has
C.
not changed that much since launch. I have to
Mm-mm.
say, like,
Though with the increase in damage for grabs, he did become a little bit scarier.
yeah, nothing too crazy changed about him. No, like if you look at like Giyu week one versus Giyu right now, I wouldn't say a lot has changed. Game plan's still the same.
Hmm.
And just like before, I'd also say he's a solid A tier character.
I would agree.
Right. Moving on to Hinokami Tanjiro.
Ooh, spicy
Um,
boy.
he used to at the beginning of the game he was second best, which
Yeah, right.
not the case anymore. Um,
Though you
like
could get some monster combos off of him, he is wow. Like you can almost zero to death someone without going into burst.
well, yes, but I'd say one of the biggest issues is the fact that as the game continues to evolve, everybody's getting higher and higher damage percent combos.
That's fair. Yeah,
Um, and I mean, you can practice your buttons all you want, but you need to get in in order to get uh, in order to get a good healthy amount of damage in the first place. And I think
yeah.
Hinokami really struggles in that regard of getting in without taking a whole bunch of damage himself.
That's a fair argument. Yeah,
That being said, he does have a decent amount of damage. His moveset's interesting enough. I'd say he's B tier.
I would agree. I would agree.
B tier. Inosuke. What are your thoughts on
Oh,
Inosuke?
um, honestly, Inosuke is one of those units that I don't view has changed since the game came out. He seemed like a good character, and he is a good character. He's a great character for guard breaks. He has the highest, I believe, damage to guard in the game. So, and his combos are decent. But of course, again, like you can play around with your buttons all you want, and get at least a decent amount of damage with every single character. So I feel like Inosuke is still where he's been for the most part.
Yeah. He just struggles a lot in defensive well, not in decent. He does have Boar Rush, but Boar Rush doesn't do a lot these days. You have a lot of demons that aren't even close to him when pressuring his shield, so Boar Rush doesn't do much then.
Right.
He really can't get in that well on opponents. Um, which to me makes him a like a C tier character.
Yeah. No. For sure. For sure.
Next up, I think I'll take this one. Mokomo.
Oh yeah.
As my personal main, I can attest to all of Mokomo's strengths and weaknesses. Even with the new Nezuko nerf, Mokumo can still get a healthy like 40 to 50% uh, combo off of Nezuko's crazy scratching.
Mm-hmm.
Mokumo does fall off a bit as her tracking functionally does not work that well when you're comboing an opponent against an arena wall, which is
Mm-hmm.
one of her biggest downfalls. Um, Earlier on in the meta, before Demons came out, she was a solid B tier character because she could get in for free with Water Wheel. Now she has 6 characters that she just can't do that against, as well as a
Mm-hmm.
lot smarter characters that don't get hit by that as much anymore. Um, as the meta has evolved and more characters are coming out, Mokumo just kind of keeps dropping down the tier list. That being said, I do think she's gonna be on the high C tier end.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, I don't feel like we need to talk about this one. I feel like Mudata is just D tier and we can move on.
No, no, S tier, S tier.
No, no,
We must
no.
petition. We got a petition for Murata to be S tier.
Mudata doesn't have a lot going for him. He's pretty much down an entire special because that cheer doesn't do a whole lot. Especially, it gives your opponent a free hit almost entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, D tier.
Dang, you hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
Haters
Nezuko.
relate.
Now Nezuko got nerfed technically as a support character,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
we do have to keep into account both supports and mains while making this tier list. I
Correct.
don't think that bumps her down purely because of how much she can do as a point character.
Mm-hmm.
She's a monster. She can get 50% off of 2 bars and even more if she wants to get fancy and use like 3 or 4. Um,
To be honest, go ahead.
a lot of confirms into ultimates. And like I said, there's still workarounds for that support nerf. It's not 100% debilitating.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to add that just because they nerfed her assists to be red combos, again, if you know your point character like the back of your hand, you can make the most out of that. And Nezuko just gets in with assists anyway because I know her tilt has a insane amount of range for what it does. And her tracking is still like really, really good. Like nothing has been nerfed but the color of the combo. So honestly, I think she's still a very, very solid assist, and I still use her for my teams.
Yeah. I still use her for mine as well. I haven't seen a single person that's actually dropped Nezuko since the nerf, and I feel like that says something about how much they quote unquote nerfed her.
Right.
So with that, I think Nezuko is going to be our first S tier.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, oh how the mighty have fallen, Kyojuro Rengoku.
Oh my gosh.
Rengoku used to be S tier, very early on in the game. Really good character. Nobody could do a whole lot against him, and now he's just kind of like the Bowser of Demon Slayer, I'd say. He has high damage in combos, but like I've said, we've really progressed to a point where everybody's getting high damage combos.
Mm-hmm.
You can push. People have found a lot of ways to push block his stuff. Do you have anything to add on to this?
No, not really. Honestly, I mean, he still does great shield damage, and he has a decent amount of pressure that he can apply into battles. He's still a solid character, just not as solid as he used to be, for sure.
Just not as dominating as he used to be. He used to.
Oh yeah, no,
He used to make players tremble in their boots. Now it's just there's a Rengoku.
Oh no, another Rengoku.
Yep. B tier.
I agree.
Rui. I pocket Rui for certain matchups. Rengoku. Um, what do you have to say about him?
Oh my goodness. There is nothing, there is almost nothing in the world. Actually, I can't say that because Enmu's a thing. But
We'll get to him
Rui is
later.
very, very annoying, especially if you're going up against a very experienced player. Um, in Rui or in the game just in general, because it's not hard to pick him up. Um, he has insane range. His grabs are amazing. Uh, there's really not much else to add other than he's an amazing ranged character and a very worthy opponent
To
for
go
sure.
into more detail for some of you folks at home, his shield pressure is great because he can pressure it from a range and even throw his projectiles at the end of a combo to make sure that you just can't punish him after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
He has short reset combos, long high damaging combos, confirms into ultimate, two projectiles, an amazing use of some of the like assist bars that they gave demons. Overall, I'm gonna say that's a high A tier.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
I think top of A tier is a good place for him. He still
for
has a
sure.
lot of pitfalls. He can struggle once he's not controlling the game exactly to his liking. Um, Not a lot else besides that,
Yeah.
which would put us onto Sabito.
Whew. I know very very little about this. Do not touch him. I never see this man on ranked match. I don't pick this guy up like ever for anything. Uh,
Um,
you know anything on him. You can pick
I
this
guess
up.
I'll take this one then.
Yeah, okay.
Sabito has a lot of good advantage. He's a reset heavy character. We've seen players like Sea Claw take advantage of that. He does a decent amount of damage for 2 bars in a similar way to Nezuko, and because he's a reset heavy character, you can get about 3 combos off in a row. That being said, you're gonna need all 3 combos to get a kill. Um, Even though you do have the fastest heavy in the game, it's really hard to get in still because you don't have a lot of high speed movements. I'd honestly argue Mokomo has an easier time getting in than Sabito does.
Mm, yeah.
That being said, Sabito does have that great low cost damage, and that really good full charged heavy. Enough to put him in in like low B tier, I believe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I would definitely agree with that.
Next up, Shinobu. Um, as somebody who has fought a Shinobu, one of the best Shinobus, I'm terrified of this character and what they can do. Um, with that being said, Shinobu's optimal combo does about 60%, and it requires an assist. You can counter her gameplay with heavies, and she kind of starts to struggle a bit. You can switch into your assist to remove the poison effect. She is a really strong character in neutral, and if you don't know what you're doing against her, she's terrifying. But the second you even start to remotely figure out her game plan, you can kind of start to work around it. And to me, that kind of play style would put her like just with something like that. I believe just kind of lands not Nezuko, Shinobu, my bad. Land Shinobu in a high B tier situation.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Susamaru. Susamaru has quite a few opinions from quite a few people. What do you think?
um, wow. Very. She when she first came out, I know a lot of people didn't know what to do with her, and so a lot of people viewed her as a worse kind of character, along with Yahaba. Um, but now that I think we have a little bit more knowledge, on her and what she can do. Um, and that I think the patch buffed her a little bit. Is that correct?
It buffed every demon. Yes,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
in
Okay,
different ways, of course, but yes, it
right.
yes.
hmm I believe she gained a little bit more shield break with some of her moves.
I
I think one of her
think I
demon
have the patch
skills
notes
too.
right here. I can tab over to them.
Yes, yeah, okay. I believe her demon skill, her neutral demon skill, does a little bit more shield break. Um,
Yeah,
and just other,
Susamaru
yeah.
skill 1 ball kick, increased damage dealt to both an opponent's guard uh,
hmm
and the opponent guarding. Skill 2
Right.
spinning throw, increased damage dealt to opponent's guard. Skill 3 piercing kick, increased damage dealt to opponent's guard when the button is held down.
hmm
So
Yeah, so
yes,
she has become a pretty solid character. Um, and I've seen her a lot, actually in ranked match, uh, and people really know how to use her now. So I think she's a pretty solid character.
okay. I'd put her like between Rui and Acaza right about now.
Um, e- yeah, yeah. You know what? Yeah.
You're allowed to disagree.
um, well, I was thinking because Akaza has the advantage in like getting in because he obviously his dash is like a lot stronger.
Well, yeah, but
His
Susamaru doesn't need to get in. She's a projectile character. She's a zoner.
right, right, but um, most of the time I figured out that Akaza can pop his counter, and normally Susumaru, if she's hitting her normal attacks, she's within that. Um, and so it'd be really easy for an Akaza to get in
Well,
for
tier
her.
lists would look at like an overall like matchup chart for so like she might not beat Akaza himself,
hmm
but I would still place her just above Acaza, personally.
Oh, why is that?
She's still really good. I think she performs great against all of the Slayers, which still hold the majority of the roster. My bad.
hmm
Um, I have I have a character matchup chart right here as well that I can tab into if it'll load in time. If we look at Susumaru's matchups, she doesn't lose a whole lot, and the ones she does lose, are to like typical characters: Nezuko, Zenitsu,
hmm
and like Yahaba. She's winning the rest of these really.
That's fair. Yeah.
Um, Whereas if we compare that directly to like Akaza, it's about the same, but he does lose a little bit more.
hmm
So I think putting Susumaru right between Yahaba and Rui. I'm not Yahaba. We haven't ranked Yahaba yet, but right between Akaza and Rui isn't bad.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not?
Next up, Udo Kodaki.
All right. Very, very defensive characters. He still is the most defensive character when it comes to damage scaling. Um, he hasn't honestly changed much either. I would say he's another Inosuke in terms of progression, character progression. Um, he's pretty much stayed the same, but I think he's still a really strong character. That does just because he's stayed the same doesn't mean that it's bad. I think he's very very good in his defense. Those I mean, people have figured out how to get rid of the traps. So the traps aren't as effective as they used to be, but if you're smart with it, you can definitely get in using those. So I think he's a solid character still.
Yeah, people have definitely found ways around his traps. You can send in an assist, you can use your skill. I think one of his biggest weakness in terms of his traps is the fact that Shinobu can actually start a combo above it and
Hmm.
remove it by the time she's landed. So he definitely loses the Shinobu matchup. Um, but when it comes to his traps, I don't feel like a lot of people are falling for them anymore. You'd have to actively set it up, and it takes so many frames to set up just for it to be removed by like a thunderclap and flash or a
Hmm.
water wheel or literally anything else that the roster knows. So for me, I think he's C tier, but where in C tier do you think he is?
Um, I'd probably say he is right between Mokumo and Inosuke.
Right there, yeah, that makes I think that makes sense. Water Tanjiro. Now, as somebody who mains Water Tanjiro, I think you can take this one.
Okay, all right. Where do I start? Um, uh, his approach with Water Wheel is very, very good. Let me tell you, his Water Wheel still has amazing tracking. I know I was doing a match just a day ago, and he curved so hard when one of my opponents dashed to the left, I believe. Oh my gosh, it still caught them. It was the most insane thing. Um, but tracking is amazing. I know they debuffed him a little bit with the patch, but it really it really doesn't feel like he's been debuffed at all. Um, there's some moves that you can jump over with Waterfall Basin. I know Zenitsu's Heavy is one of them. Um, very, very, very strong character. Um, obviously, Heavy is still pretty slow, but you just got to be smart in using it.
He does have a
Um,
unique heavy in the way that he does go forward quite a bit when using it.
right. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Um,
But I think in a way, he kind of makes up for it because his heavy is also very like horizontal in hitbox. So he can catch people a good amount of the time, or
I
at
think
least scrape them so that he's not vulnerable.
does one of his I think one of his optimals includes his heavy in the middle of it actually.
It does. It does. So usually you would do a water wheel into a waterfall basin, and then you could do a heavy after that. So usually it's waterfall basin and then heavy, and you can get some pretty hefty damage into there. Um, it's very nice. It's very nice.
They nerfed water wheel, but I don't think it changed much,
Oh
honestly.
no, not at all. Not at all. I was watching footage before the actually with Tanjiro's water wheel, and it didn't look different really at all. I think they nerfed range on it, but
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think they nerfed like the side range, like you would catch it when the
mhm,
water wheel wasn't even touching you, which is
yeah,
a good
yeah, yeah,
change for balance purposes. But functionally, if it's in a combo, if you're approaching properly, it's gonna hit the same way.
right.
So nothing, not a lot changed. I think he's gonna be another S tier character for us.
Very true. Very true.
Yahaba, Arrow Boy. Um,
you have anything to say about him?
he definitely has a commanding type of playstyle that definitely forces you to change yours. If you don't change your playstyle around his, whoops, you lost the game. Try again later, pal. Um, but if you do adapt your playstyle to Yahaba, complete pushover. It's a matter of whether or not you want to change your playstyle in order to win the match.
Very
Which
true.
surprisingly not a lot of people do when facing Yahaba. And he's definitely scary when you fight him the first couple of times, but if he wants to if he wants to confirm a hit on you, he's wasting a lot of ball in order to do that. And I
Very
feel like
true.
that hinders him quite a bit.
No, I agree. I agree.
That being said, he does have quite a few strengths in his sheer damage output that he can give to you from a range. Like I said, he is a very commanding if the game goes how he wants it to, and he has a lot of ways to make it go how he wants it to.
Mm-hmm.
His shield special, allowing like delayed arrows, um, it exerts a lot of pressure in of itself. He's one of the characters that like hard counters Mokomo
Yeah, yeah.
because she can't approach. I mean, do you have anything else to add?
No, I think you've basically covered everything. Um, he is a pretty solid character, and I think he would go very well between maybe um, mm, since we're looking at an overall standpoint, I'd probably say Rui and Susumaru, right?
Right between Rue and Susumaru.
Yeah.
I was thinking between Susumaru and Acaza.
Oh, you're thinking that? You're thinking below Susumaru?
Hmm. It's hard to say.
It is hard to say.
I say the meta has kind of developed to kind of counter Yahaba a little bit more than Susumaru. I have to say
That's fair.
it's real close between those two though.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I think that could go anyway. Next up we have Zenitsu.
Ooh,
Um,
love this man.
you've mained Zenitsu in the past.
I've dabbled in the lightning arts a little bit.
A little bit of thunder breathing for you.
Yeah. He's very strong character. I think the most problem that he has with his character that I've seen is getting in combo wise. Thunderclap and Flash, that's a very good pressure. Not shield pressure specifically, just like in a general sense. Because he doesn't do very much shield damage using Thunderclap and Flash. But if you have a solid assist that can get in for you and maybe start a yellow combo, then he can very much prosper from that. So honestly, I think he's a very strong character. Also, you can do as a defensive measure. I've seen this a lot, but you would guard, and then your opponent starts hitting you or whatever, and if they're trying to bring a lot of that shield pressure, you would push back and then do your guard skill, and that usually gets you out of it. Of course, you also have to take into account that it's a red combo.
Pushback heavy is also really good.
Yeah, very true, very true. His heavy has great what do you call it? Not vertical,
range.
horizontal range or frontal range, I should say.
Range.
Not so much horizontal. You can very much easily sidestep it if you time it right, but he's still a very strong character.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been some really good players with him that can just kind of go all the way with him. His assist with Hinokami Tanjiro is a really good team.
Very true.
I mean, he performs at like in an astronomical level. Very few weaknesses. You add like boost into there. It's a non-starter for me. I feel like he's the best character in the game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I did a matchup chart with Hinokami Tanjiro, and Zenitsu's worst matchup is even. So, take that as you will.
Dang.
But that's definitely the makings of a number one character there.
I find that funny though, because every Zenitsu complains about water Tanjiros without fail.
Every single one. I haven't.
So,
I never seen one that hasn't.
It's kind of weird to see Tanjiro be below that.
It's almost as
but,
if
I mean,
Zenitsu players are not really thinking when they say that stuff.
I guess not.
Next character, one of the newer ones, Enmu.
Oh.
Now, I have a personal story about Enmu, being that he knocked me out of a tournament.
Oh no. Here we go.
Yeah, Hinokami Zombie really showed us a decent performance with him, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
I
And
mean,
it was
just
like I think the day after that he came out, right?
yep,
Yeah.
uh,
Insane performance. I mean,
insane. He has really good damage. He's even better. He's better at resets than Sabuto is.
mhm.
He lays traps better than Udo Kodaki. He has a greater grab range than everything else. He takes
Oh my gosh.
what makes some of the lesser characters in this game, and turns them up to 11 for his own gain, and it really works for him. It really pushes him over the top.
I do agree.
I think he's right above Water Tanjiro. He's right
No,
between.
I 100% agree with that because I know me me playing as Water Tanjiro against Enmu is, oh wow, it is a struggle.
Yeah, it's it's about drive, it's about power, and Enmu has both. Enmu has both. Lasts and, well, I can't say least because Murata's on this list, but let's bring in Yushiro into this.
His demon skills are very powerful. Actually, I'm a big fan of what they did with him.
Yeah, he's
Demon
definitely
skill wise.
unique. A 2-in-1 character. Lady Yushiro
Hmm.
does give him a bit of an edge.
You
He
mean
can.
Lady Tamiyo?
What did I say?
Yushiro?
Oh no. There's
Lady
fan art
Yushiro.
of that somewhere. No, Lady Tamiyo is definitely great for things like grab resets. Overall, he's all right. He can mix you up. He has a counter of his own, although a pretty bad one at that.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, that's where the appraisal ends for this character. Like I said, you can just almost every character can just on reaction just completely remove Yushiro's ability to use as a counter.
Hmm.
His damage output is really bad. He can't even get a 0 to 100 even with Surge.
Hmm.
His I mean, he's like a single reset per combo with Lady Tamiyo, and it's not really enough to even give him 50% most of the time.
Hmm.
He does have poison with Lady Tamiyo. Once again, just switch characters. Neglect that. Everybody in this game should know their anchor by now.
Yeah.
If they don't, they need to learn. It's overall not a great time to be a Yushiro main.
Mm-mm.
So where does
They
that
didn't.
where does that put
Definitely
him for
did not.
you?
For me,
Mm.
um, ooh, let me think. I'd probably put him. Hmm. That's a very good question. I'd probably put him in C tier.
C tier.
Hmm.
Like above Mokumo.
Um. Yeah, like above Pokemon.
Like you don't think he's quite on B tier level, but you think he's top of C tier.
Right. Yeah. No. For sure.
Okay. And with that, that's our this looks kind of funky. Like if I move Yushiro up to B tier, it looks nicer. The curve just looks a little bit better. Um Plus, I think bottom of B tier would work, kinda. I mean, he does have strengths, even if they are very tiny.
That's fair. You know what? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah,
In
bottom B
sake,
tier. That's
in
fine. That's
for
fine.
the sake of aesthetics, it does not change the order, but he is bottom of B tier. With that being said, hope you enjoyed the video. I've been Shiro. He's been Itoshi from Slayer Core Gaming, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.